Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video, continuing the ongoing saga of the Haven Commonwealth. Our last video was fairly eventful. We met some people, but our main concern, our immediate concern, is still the Derp coalition, who are our unfriendly neighbor, and they're very close, as you can see. They're definitely expanding into that other galactic arm. The hierarchy of Bok are also unfriendly. The Jackass Pact were unfriendly, but they had some changes in their society and they've become a little bit more mellow. And the Autocracy of Nur, I believe, are also unfriendly. Everybody else is either fairly friendly or close to neutral. Most of these species I made myself to be friendly, so hopefully that'll work out. Also in that last video, you might remember we met the Star Dynasty of Kreguks, and I thought perhaps they might be a fallen empire because I did not design them, but looking at the contact list, they are inferior in their military strength, so I don't believe
System survey.
They are a fallen empire, which is good. Also in that other video, you may remember that we were finally able to uplift the Visari, a species that we found on one of our planets. Unfortunately, they are having a hard time integrating into the Haven Commonwealth society. And so, in the short term anyway, it's going to lower my mineral output on the planet where they are located by 5% for 24 months, which kind of sucks. But not long after that, more evidence of their difficulty in integrating with the Commonwealth reared its ugly head, and they seem to be sort of having an identity crisis. One day they'll find family to be very important, and then the next day they have completely different priorities. So I have the choice here of making them do things one way or the other. One way might make them more authoritarian. The other one would be more egalitarian. I went with egalitarian here because I think that's the way the humans are, at least theoretically. And then not long after that, the Visari developed an aversion to firearms. So once again, I had two choices that would have a consequence, or I could just let it ride. One choice would make them more pacifistic, one would make them more militaristic. I decided to say, very well, and just kind of let the situation evolve on its own. So I don't know how this will turn out. But I believe that's what I did. Yeah, very well. So I decided to build some more spaceports over on the other side of my map. This planet is very close to a system where I know there are dangerous crystalline entities. They don't seem to move around very much, but I thought I should at least try to get a little bit of a defense going over here. And then also on the sort of eastern side of my map here, I'm building a spaceport around Araya Prime, just because they're on the edge of my map here, and I'd like to be able to defend it in case we're invaded from that direction. And speaking of hostilities, the hierarchy of Bok has declared the Kelzen Stellar Republic their rival. This will significantly worsen their diplomatic relations, as you might imagine. They are not really a big concern for me. I would kind of like to be an ally of the Kelzen, but I have not had that opportunity just yet. And it turns out the hierarchy of Bok has definitely been increasing their military strength. They are overwhelming compared to everybody, or at least compared to me. The Jackass and the Kelzen, who are the closest up there to the hierarchy of Bok, they are superior, so I'm curious to see if they will join forces against the Bokbakians. But I guess we'll have to see. Again, I'm way down here, so that's not too much of a concern for me. Unfortunately,
against us.
The Derp are a concern, and they have just declared war. And they're saying, our flesh harvesters are coming for your babies, which is quite hostile. Unbelievably hostile from these mean space frogs. Or perhaps I shouldn't call them space frogs, although I guess it really doesn't matter if I insult them at this point. Unfortunately, because I'm building those two spaceports, my mineral level is quite low at the moment. I have 15 Corvettes, and I'm not going to be able to build a bunch of them at a time. It costs 80 minerals to build one Corvette, and so at the moment that's all I can do is build one at a time, which really makes me nervous. But it is what it is. I do have a spaceport with missiles on it, and I have a military station also, because I anticipated some kind of derp hostility. But for a while, kind of all I did was stare at the map to see if I could see any approaching ships, and I just kind of built one ship at a time.
Hostile fleet detected. Station under attack.
I went from 15 ships to 18 ships, and I was building my 19th ship when they showed up, and by the numbers, they are much stronger than I am, and I thought, well, son of a bitch, this game is about to be over already. But look at this, the combination of my missiles from the spaceport and my military station and my Corvettes made them flee. Look at that. And so they've just got some ships here. I think these are probably ships that have occupation troops. I think they envision just rolling on up into orbit and landing their troops and, you know, having kind of a laugher of a battle. But they turned tail and ran. So here we are, wiping out the last of their occupation ships and my remaining ships. And look at this, they didn't even have a captain or an admiral, I guess. I don't know what happened. I think there was a notification at the bottom of the screen right as the battle started saying that one of my leaders had died, and so I'm wondering if the admiral died right as they warped into the system. Like maybe they were looking out the window and died of a heart attack. I don't know. But yeah, no leader assigned, so I'm going to have to take care of that. But overall, I'm happy. We survived our first battle. This will not be the end of this war. We still can't build, and there went another one of my leaders. Another leader has died. But we still can't build very many Corvettes at a time, so I'm just going to have to see what happens here. And I'm going to go ahead and end this video right here. Otherwise, it will be quite long. But in the next video, we will continue our war with the Derp Coalition. Thanks for watching.